Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One, and I am back with another video. We're gonna try this live stream one more again. All right, we're gonna talk about the Dallas Cowboys, but before we begin, I'm first like to say this, state this for the record. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since day one. Okay, I'm not what you consider a bandwagon Dallas fan. I've been with the Dallas Cowboys for a long period of time. Okay, I've seen them come, I've seen them go. I've seen some great athletes that the Dallas Cowboys drafted or picked up in free agency. Okay, now I've been currently riding the wave of this batch of Dallas Cowboys. They have been very impressive. One reason is Jerry Jones sort of let go of his control on the Dallas Cowboys. He wanted to be everything and everyone to the Dallas Cowboys. He let go some of that responsibility to his son, and his son hired a staff who are knowledgeable enough to pick some good key players. Okay, and that's the real reason why the Dallas Cowboys are what they are today. Okay, has little to do with Jerry Jones, more to do with Stephen Jones, his son, hiring the right personnel to make the Dallas Cowboys better. Instead of making America great, Stephen Jones made the Dallas Cowboys great. Okay, and they have a good setup. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be contending for a long period of time, so long as Jerry Jones doesn't say, well, you know what, I want to, take control of the team once again. Because I did it once before with Jimmy Johnson. I picked Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy Johnson picked those players. And I won't credit for those players, because without those players wouldn't be on the Dallas Cowboys if I didn't pick Jimmy Johnson. Okay, so let me tell y'all why the Dallas Cowboys are currently in the position that they are. They are 5-5 right now. This time last year, it took a minute for them to lose their second game. Okay, they was riding on a great winning streak. Okay, that was last year. They came out of the blue because nobody expected the Dallas Cowboys to have the record that they had last year. Anyone sits up there and say, "Oh, well, I knew that from training camp," you're fooling yourself. Okay, because you didn't currently know who was going to be the quarterback. Jerry Jones was making a push for Tony Romo, and if Tony Romo didn't get injured, the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have that wonderful season that they had last year. Not to say Tony Romo is the reason why the Dallas Cowboys suck. It's just you have to let go of the old guard and into the new guard. They drafted Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, and those decisions were great decisions. And those decisions are the reason why Jerry Jones don't want any part of taking full responsibility, full control for the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to sit back and let the people that Stephen Jones hire make football decisions. Okay. Now, why are the Dallas Cowboys struggling now? The stuff that they was doing last year, they're not doing this year, and because of several reasons. One, Ezekiel Elliott, the suspension. He had a 6-game suspension, and I don't care what type of athlete you are. When you got that on top of your head, you're not going to be performing the best, because you're going to always be thinking about that. Okay, that's just us being human, and that's us being real. Okay. Another reason, because Ezekiel Elliott worrying about that suspension, he can't get in a flow with the offense. Because you have to realize, folks, the Dallas Cowboys ran first and threw later. Even though Dak Prescott has a good arm, It's not Aaron Rodgers' arm. It's not Tom Brady's arm. But you have to realize this is his second year in the NFL, and he's only going to get better. But as of right now, he doesn't have the rest of the tools to be one of those top flight quarterbacks, okay? And that's due to the fact of time, okay? And with a little bit more time, he's going to do big things, for the NFL and for the Dallas Cowboys, all right? But as of right now, they had a winning formula. Run first, throw later, and the defense made some key stops, key scoring stops. Now, the Dallas Cowboy defense is not that very good, okay? It wasn't good last year. It's a little better this year. And the reason why it can't be better because they have a lot of key injuries on that side of the field, okay? A lot of people thought that the Dallas Cowboys made a mistake in drafting Taco. I forgot his last name. He's a defensive end. People felt like he was too small for the league. He wasn't. People felt like the Dallas Cowboys should have picked. I forgot the other defensive player. And they wind up picking Taco, and he's paying off dividends as well. You got to realize that he's in his first year. He's only going to get better. They're missing several key players on the Dallas Cowboys defense. So that's another reason why the Dallas Cowboys are struggling. Okay. And not to mention, and this is all due to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones should take the majority of this credit. Not all of it, not fully, but the majority of it. The Dallas Cowboys have had a lot of controversy just this year alone. When Jerry Jones kneeled with the other players to show support of the players, and then he turned around and said, well, he doesn't want any of his players kneeling before games because he saw the backlash of that, and he saw dollar signs that he's potentially losing. Plus the fact that Ezekiel Elliott, he didn't handle that decision very well. He felt like Roger Goodell is picking on the Dallas Cowboys and doesn't feel like Roger Goodell is the right commissioner, even though, Jerry, Roger Goodell has suspended several players, and you never mention how unfair those decisions are. Now you want to say that it's totally unfair that your player is being suspended for all the wrong reasons, so you say, which if you look at the evidence, even the NFL's own investigator said, really there's really nothing here to warrant a suspension. Okay, we just don't have enough, and if it was their opinion, they wouldn't even suspend Ezekiel Elliott. But the reason why Ezekiel Elliott is being forced to sit for 6 games is not just because of that, but other incidents that's been plaguing Ezekiel Elliott since college, okay? And yes, it's unfair to try somebody on things that they did in the past, but you have to realize in society, that's what we do, okay? It's not about what you have done, what good you have done for the past couple of months. It's about your whole resume. If there's a stain on your resume, society have a different opinion of a person, okay? And that's what Ezekiel Elliott is fighting, okay? To me, I feel like Ezekiel Elliott should have just sat down and just took the 6 games. Felt like going through court, it's just only prolonging it. You notice Tom Brady has more money than Ezekiel Elliott. He hired the best of the best, and look what happened to him. He still got suspended. At the end of the day, he was suspended. Okay, If they can do that to Tom Brady, they don't have no issues doing it to you, okay? But it is what it is. We got a nasty ass accident. See, that's what happens when people are always in a fucking rush. Everybody's in a rush to do something. Ooh, I know that lady. I know she mad. Woo! Yes, man. She mad as fuck. Okay, so all right. So currently, that's what Ezekiel Elliott. That's what's wrong with the Dallas Cowboys. They have way too many off-field issues that is affecting the team, and they're missing key players, particularly in the defense, particularly with Ezekiel Elliott. Dak Prescott was eventually going to hit the wall. Okay, now more than ever, you really do need Ezekiel Elliott to shoulder more of the load. And Ezekiel Elliott is having his issues. Okay, and it is what it is. I mean, I just say, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan like myself, you should just call this a wash, a wrap. It'd be best for the Dallas Cowboys not to even try to entertain the notion of trying to make a comeback and getting in the playoff race. Okay, I think it will serve the Dallas Cowboys best if they wait for Ezekiel Elliott next year. Their team is a little bit healthy next year, and they sign better players in free agency and draft better players, fill-in players next year. And they're 5-5 right now. If they just shut everything down, let Dak Prescott sit down, don't put him through our, because we don't need another issue for next year. Just shut everything down. See what you have available when you talk about backups, because those backups, you're not too sure if you're going to have them next year. So you at least want to see what you have already. And if it means that you have to cut ties with those individuals, okay? And that's pretty much what the Dallas Cowboys is going to have to deal with, okay? I feel like, a lot of people, including myself, we thought that the Dallas Cowboys was going to make a deeper run in the playoffs. Now more than ever, when you look at what has been transpiring, Aaron Rodgers is injured, okay? The Giants are not doing what the Giants are normally do, what they normally capable of doing. They're having a down year. And the Eagles, surprise, surprise, are leading the division. Okay, who would have thunk it? Okay, now by going through this route, there's going to be people on the Dallas Cowboys that may be on the hot seat, or they may just decide on firing them. Okay, one in particular is Jason Garrett. Even though Jason Garrett is Jerry Jones is quite fond of Jason Garrett, I don't think Jason Garrett could survive another bad year. Okay, so he may have to look behind his back, particularly if there's a better coach available, particularly in the TV booth. John Gruden, which Jerry Jones loved John Gruden to death. He wanted John Gruden as a coach. Who's to think? Who would think that? I mean, who would? It's a possibility that John Gruden may say, you know what, the Monday night gig, it's all right. ESPN is struggling a little bit. I can probably make more money and have a better secure job going back into coaching. So that's one elephant in the room that Jason Garrett is going to have to figure out. As well as other coaching candidates out there. I'm gonna throw a name out there that it seems like everybody have seemed to forgotten was Jeff Fisher. I feel like Jeff Fisher even though he's more defense, which he's a more defensive-minded coach, which, to be perfectly honest with you, that's where the Dallas Cowboys are struggling, okay? The offense, not so much. The defense, they have been lackluster. So having Jeff Fisher there as your head coach, you know he's going to spend more time on the defense. He'll find an offensive coordinator that can handle the offensive side of things. And the Dallas Cowboys want to run first. They want to eat up the clock by running. That's a perfect team for Jeff Fisher to go back into the NFL. Even though a lot of people feel like Jeff Fisher has lost his edge, he lost his spark. Not a lot of players are responding to Jeff Fisher, and that's probably part of the last team he was currently on, the St. Louis/LA Rams. Okay, I felt like they gave him a little bit too much power. But if Jeff Fisher does decide to come back to coaching, that's all he's going to be. He's not going to have those other figureheads on his desk. Okay, so that's a possibility, but we're all going to have to wait and see. Knowing Jerry Jones, he's probably going to keep the coach that he already has. Okay, Jason Garrett, he's quite fond of him. Stephen Jones doesn't have a huge issue with him, and the Dallas Cowboys fans are okay with Jason Garrett. Okay, and everyone understands the situation. It's not his fault. It's just the luck of the draw. They had too many injuries on defense, and the defense, even if the defense wasn't going to be that stout anyway, but still those injuries do hurt your chances. And Ezekiel Elliott, the 6-game suspension, then they had off the field things that are going on, particularly with Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones should go in hiding. I think Jerry Jones should stop talking and just drop this nonsense about Roger Goodell. Okay, now's not the time to push your weight on how you feel about Roger Goodell, even though you never illustrate any of that the past 3 years, the past 4 years. Okay, so you should have said something and spoken then. Now people feel like, which I feel the same way, it's sour grapes. You're just mad at Roger Goodell because he suspended one of your players, and you're highly upset and heated. So the best thing for Jerry Jones to do, particularly for the state of the Dallas Cowboys, is to stop talking, stop doing interviews, stop with this beef war with Roger Goodell, because you're not going to win, and a lot of owners they're not feeling you anymore. Okay, but it is what it is. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom 1, and I am out.